Hello, Dr. Jessica Ashe here in Ohio, USA. I want to thank Princess Desziree Richardson for asking me to be here with you today. Unfortunately, it's a little early in Ohio, so I'm sending you this recording. And I'm open to all and any feedback, questions you may have. I want you to engage with this material so that we can have a real dialogue about what it means. So I'm going to start with, when we talk about emotional intelligence, it's a sad fact that the default emotion for humans is anger. And that may be the first emotion that we feel. Most often there's something behind that, and it could be fear. And so that anger is kind of protecting you if you feel vulnerable in some way. And it's not always helpful. So it takes awareness and of how you feel, and also knowledge that that's how we're kind of made, to move beyond that default mechanism. And in that light, as women are often raised when we're girls to be compliant and be good little girls, which can make us passive. And I know I've been passive. If consistently you are suppressing your emotion, eventually that's going to come out as aggression. And you've heard the phrase passive aggressive before. That's where it comes from. You can't always bury your emotion. Now, the opposite side of passive is aggressive. We've met people who are very aggressive, and we don't like to be around them usually. And I want to dispel a myth that bullies are rare. Anybody can display a bully action, and it's up for the rest of us to put a border around that action and say no. When you see somebody acting like a bully, you don't have to be surprised or even angered. You can just say, no, it's not okay that you're doing that. And that leads me to the idea of being assertive, which is right in the middle. You have the right to let the people around you know how you're feeling. You don't have the right to hurt them or lash out at them. And if we just react to an emotion without thinking about what's going on inside of us, we can be embarrassed by our actions, whether we throw a plate at somebody or scream a curse word. We're proud of ourselves when we can control our response to any stimulus. And so work towards not being passive or aggressive, but assertively saying, I'm just not okay with that, and moving forward from that space. And I really am interested in your questions or comments about how difficult that may be. Next, I want to move on to the idea of that love is a verb. I had a brother who often told me how much he loved his daughters, although he never displayed it. He didn't raise them. He didn't give them any money to support them as they grew. And I found that extremely hypocritical. The point here is that love is a verb, and you have to do things. That's what verbs are, action. So when you love someone, find a way to express that works for you, whether that's writing a letter or doing the dishes or walking the dog or whatever it is. If you love someone, show it in some way. That leads me to my last point for today, because I know our time is limited, and that's the relationship bank account. Bad things happen in everybody's life, and we all have bad days. And so those are draining to friends and couples. And if you always go to your spouse or your friend and you say, oh, this is terrible, blah, 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 and you're complaining and you're bringing down the energy, that is withdrawing money from the relationship bank account. And I'm not saying never do that. I am saying be prepared for that. Use the moments of positivity in your life to say how much you love somebody and to do good things so that there is money in that relationship bank account. And when something negative happens, even though you're withdrawing a little bit of that money, it's okay because you have a positive balance. And, just to repeat myself, we all have bad days and bad things happen. Just make sure that your loved ones know they're loved and feel they're loved, so that you can rely on that when you need to withdraw that money. please type any of your comments or feedback. Ask the princess for my number and we can talk again. Have a great day. And thank you again, Princess. Bye, Woha.